At 79, I've lived through more than most. Joys, sorrows, and lessons I'll never forget. But there's one choice that still haunts me. Moving into a nursing home. Back then, it felt like a smart move. Kids pushed for it, painting a picture of round-the-clock care, peace of mind, and a cozy little life. I trusted them. I signed the papers. But the moment I stepped through those doors, I knew I'd been sold a dream that didn't exist. If you're watching this, maybe you're weighing the same decision, for yourself or someone you love. You might think it's the practical thing, the safe thing, the thing everyone says will simplify everything. But hold on. Before you take that leap, I'm going to share 6 hard-earned truths I wish I'd known beforehand. Because here's the kicker. A nursing home isn't just a change of address. It rewires your entire existence, and once you're in, walking away is tougher than you'd ever guess. Stick with me to the end. Some of these might catch you off guard. And if someone in your life is on the fence about this video could be the wake-up call they need. Let's dive in. Regret 1. Surrendering my freedom. I'll be honest, when I moved into the nursing home, I wasn't braced for the gut punch that hit me first. It wasn't the lumpy mattress or the faint antiseptic smell in the halls. It was the moment I realized my life didn't belong to me anymore. Back home, I had my own beat. You know? I'd wake up when the birds started chirping outside my window, shuffle to the kitchen in my worn slippers, and brew a pot of tea, strong, just how I liked it, with a splash of milk. If I felt like it, I'd step onto the porch, breathe in the morning air, and watch the neighborhood wake up. Those were my calls, my moments. But the second I settled into that nursing home, that all slipped through. My fingers like sand. Suddenly my days were run by someone else's rules, someone else's clock. Breakfast rolled in at 7 sharp, oatmeal or eggs, no say in it, even if my stomach wasn't ready. Lights out at 9, whether my eyes were heavy or I was halfway through a good story in my head. Want to step outside and feel the grass underfoot? You've got to ask, wait. Hope and aid's free to trail you like a shadow. I remember my first morning there, so clearly. I woke up, disoriented, in a bed that creaked differently than mine. The air felt wrong, too still, too clean. I stretched out my arm, muscle memory kicking in. Reaching for that little radio I'd kept on my nightstand for 20 years. Nothing. Just a bare table and a wall staring back at me. My chest tightened. Where was my mug with the chipped handle? My stack of dog-eared mysteries? The creaky floorboard by the window that I'd cursed but secretly loved? Gone. Replaced by a sterile box I didn't choose, a schedule I didn't write, and a sinking truth. I wasn't the captain anymore. It's the little things that cut deepest. Like the time I wanted to make toast, just toast. Nothing fancy, but there's no toaster, no kitchen, no, sure, I'll do it myself. Or when I'd stare out the window, itching to walk to the corner like I used to, only to be told, we'll see if someone's available later. Later never came, and the worst? Once you let that freedom go, it's like trying to catch smoke to get it back. You stop asking. You stop pushing. You nod when they hand you a sweater you didn't pick or set a plate of lukewarm soup in front of you. You mold yourself to their system because fighting feels pointless. But every time you bend, a piece of you, the you who decided, who moved, who lived, slips away. I didn't just lose my house that day. I lost the reins to my own story. If a nursing home's in your sights, pause and ask, can you stomach handing over the keys to your days? Because once they're gone, you'll feel that empty space more than you ever thought you could. Regret 2. Fading from the picture. You don't realize how much you're tied to the world until the threads start snapping. When I agreed to the nursing home, my family made it sound like nothing would change. We'll be there all the time, Dad, they said. You won't even miss us. I hung on to that like a lifeline. The first few weeks they delivered. My son would swing by with a thermos of black coffee, the kind we'd shared on fishing trips, and we'd sit in the common room swapping stories about the one that got away. My grandee kids would pile in on Sundays, all noise and laughter, showing me blurry phone pics of their latest art projects or soccer trophies. For a minute, it felt like I was still in the loop, still part of their orbit. But then the tide shifted, slow at first, then all at once. The visits tapered off. My son's coffee runs turned into quick calls. Work's crazy, I'll catch you next week. The grandkids got swallowed up by school plays and sleepovers. Weeks stretched into months, and I'd find myself counting the days since I'd last heard a voice that wasn't a nurse's. Holidays were the real knife twist. Thanksgiving came, and I sat by the window in my stiff chair, watching cars pull up, families spilling out with pies and hugs, none of them for me. My daughter had promised to stop by, but a last-minute something came up. Tex left me staring at a plate of dry turkey in a room full of strangers. I'd see it in the others, too. Old-timers like me, parked by the door, eyes flickering with hope every time it swung open, only to dim when it wasn't their people. We'd trade weak smiles, like we all knew the score. It's not that they stopped loving me. I know that. Life just rolls on. When you're not there for the daily chaos, the spilled juice, the late-night chats, the, hey, can you grab this? You start to blur into the background. They assume you're okay, that the staff's got you covered, that you don't need them as much. But you do. You feel it in the quiet nights, when the halls go still and you're left with a phone that doesn't ring. I remember one evening sitting on my bed, clutching that old flip phone my son gave me years back. I scrolled to his name, finger hovering over call. I wanted to say, I'm still here, I miss you. But I didn't press it. Didn't want to be the nag, the weight, the guy they felt sorry for. So I set it down and the silence swallowed me whole. That's when it landed. Out here, you're a ghost in their story. Easy to miss, easier to forget. If a nursing home's on your horizon, ask yourself, can you handle drifting out of sight? Because no matter how tight your family is, once you're tucked away, the world spins without you. And that loneliness cuts deeper than you'd ever guess. Regret 3. Losing my spark. I didn't just leave my house behind, I left my reason to get out of bed. At home, I had my little missions. Tending my tomato plants, flipping through old photo albums, even sweeping the porch to keep it tidy. Those things kept me ticking. But in the nursing home, poof, gone. Someone else cooked. Someone else cleaned. My plants? They weren't there to fuss over. I thought I'd enjoy the break. No more to-do lists, just kicking back. But after a week of staring at the same 4 walls, I felt hollow. I'd watch folks around me, people who'd lived big, bold lives, reduced to shuffling through bingo games or dozing in armchairs. There was this woman, Clara, 83, a retired nurse. She used to knit blankets for her grandkids, her fingers flying over the needles. Here, no yarn, no projects, just empty hands and a far-off look. I don't know who I am anymore, she said once. I felt that in my bones. When you've got nothing to pour yourself into, the days drag, and you start to fade. If a nursing home's in your future, ask, what keeps your fire burning? Because without it, you're just waiting for the clock to run out. Regret 4. Watching my body give up. Before the nursing home, I wasn't exactly climbing mountains, but I was holding my own just fine. At 79, I could still haul a bag of groceries from the car, gripping the handles tight as I shuffled up the driveway. I'd stretch out on the rug each morning, nothing fancy, just a few bends to keep the stiffness at bay, and I'd take my slow loops around the block, feeling the crunch of gravel under my sneakers and the breeze tugging at my cap. I cooked too, simple stuff like scrambled eggs with a little pepper, standing over the stove, flipping them just right. It wasn't much, but it kept me ticking, kept my legs steady and my hands sure. Then I moved into the nursing home, and it's like someone flipped a switch. My body started slipping away faster than I could have imagined. At first it felt like a break. No more lugging bags. Meals rolled in on a cart, plated up and ready. No need to stand at the sink scrubbing dishes or pace the house to grab the mail. Someone else had it covered. I'd hit a button and an aide would fetch whatever I needed. Convenient, right? But convenience came with a cost. The less I moved, the more I lost. My knees, once reliable, started creaking like old hinges. My arms, used to lifting and stirring, felt like they were forgetting how to push back. I'd sink into that stiff lounge chair for hours, and when I'd try to stand, it was like my legs had turned to jelly. Wobbly, uncertain, like they didn't trust me anymore. I remember one day, maybe 2 months in, I tried to get up for a glass of water myself. Halfway there, my breath hitched, and I had to grip the wall, heart pounding. That's when it hit. I wasn't just resting, I was rusting. I saw it all around me too. Jim, 80, used to brag about hiking trails up north, his boots kicking up dust on rocky paths. He'd stride into the dining room those first weeks, chest out, cane tapping like a drumbeat. 6 months later, he was hunched in a wheelchair, eyes dull, letting aides nudge him along. I didn't see it coming, he said one night, voice low like he was confessing. I got it. There's this guy, Tom, too, 76, a wiry ex-farmer who'd wrestle hay bales in his day. He'd shuffle in with a walker at first, cracking jokes about outrunning the cows. Last I saw him, he couldn't lift his fork without trembling. It's not just age, it's the setup. Everything's done for you, so you stop doing it. You sit more, walk less, and before you know it, the strength you took for granted is a memory. I'd lie awake some nights, flexing my fingers under the blanket, willing them to remember how they'd grip a shovel or twist a jar open, but they'd just ache back at me, like they were giving up too. If a nursing home's on your mind, ask, can you keep pushing your body when the whole place is built to let you coast? Because once you stop, really stop, starting again feels like climbing a wall with no footholds. I didn't see how fast I'd fade, and now I'm kicking myself for not fighting harder to keep moving, to stay me. Regret 5. Saying goodbye to privacy. I never thought I'd miss locking my own door until I couldn't. At home, I had my sanctuary, my chair, my quiet, my rules. In the nursing home, that evaporated. Staff popped in whenever, just checking, and shared spaces meant no real solitude. Need a shower? Wait for an aide. Hungry for something off menu. Tough luck. Even my room wasn't mine. I shared it with a guy who snored like a freight train. I'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling, missing the days I could just be. Dignity takes a hit, too. When strangers help you dress or nudge you along like a kid, you feel less human. I'd catch myself shrinking, nodding along, letting go of the me I'd been. If you're mulling this move, ask, can you handle eyes on you 24/7 and a life that's not fully yours? It's a bigger trade-off than you'd think. Regret 6. Getting trapped. When I signed up for the nursing home, I had this little safety net in my head. It's not forever. I'll try it out, see how it fits. If it's not for me, I'll just go back home. It sounded so simple, like checking into a hotel. You don't like the bed, you check out. I told myself I'd keep my options open, keep my house waiting, keep my old life on standby. But once I was in, I found out quickly that leaving isn't a door you just stroll back through. It's a lock that clicks shut behind you, and the key's harder to find than you'd ever think. It started small. My house sat there empty, a few miles away. My creaky porch swing, the kitchen table with the coffee ring I never could scrub out. The bedroom window I'd crack open to hear the crickets. I pictured it like a time capsule, ready for me to step back into. But weeks turned into months, and things shifted. My kids started dropping hints. Dad, the yard's a mess. Maybe we should sell. They'd already boxed up my old fishing gear, the tackle box I'd hauled to the lake every summer, saying, you won't need this here. The house wasn't mine to maintain anymore. It was a burden they were itching to unload. I'd bring up going back, testing the waters. Maybe I could manage again, hire some help. Their faces would tighten. Are you sure? It's safer here. We just want you taken care of. I could hear the doubt. And worse, I started feeling it too. Then there was me, my own body turning traitor. Months of sitting, of meals delivered and walks skipped, had whittled me down. Back home, I'd hoist myself up the stairs, one hand on the banister, grumbling but proud. Now, I'd look at that same staircase in my mind and wonder if my legs could even carry me halfway. The longer I stayed, the less I trusted myself to hack it alone. I'd lie in that narrow bed at night, picturing my front door, the brass knob I'd polished 100 times, and it felt like a dream, not a plan. I met others caught in the same web. Margaret, 78, had moved in just for a bit after a fall. She'd talk about her apartment, the one with the blue curtain she'd sewn herself like it was waiting. Then her kids let the lease go. I thought I'd go back, she said, tears streaking her face. But there's nothing left to go to. Another guy, Ed, 81, watched his savings drain on care costs. His little cabin sold off to cover the bills. No exit. That's the part they don't tell you. Moving in feels like a choice. But it's a current that pulls you under. Your old life unravels. House gone, strength faded, family settled into the idea you're handled. I'd stare at the ceiling some nights, replaying that first day I walked in, wishing I'd seen the trapdoor closing. If a nursing home's on your table, ask, are you ready for this to be a one-way street? Because once you're in deep, the road out, whether it's money, muscle, or just willpower, gets steeper than you'd ever believe, and the life you knew might not be there to catch you. I don't regret my years, but I kick myself for thinking a nursing home was the answer. I expected ease and safety. I got a life stripped down to the studs. Freedom, purpose, privacy, all gone. Are they all awful? Some need that care. But if you're teetering on this edge, weigh it hard. What are you letting go of? If I could rewind, I'd have dug in, found help at home, kept my grip on the life I'd built. So if you're here, pondering this for you or someone else, ask, is this the best path or just the easiest? Hold tight to what makes you you. It's worth the fight. Thanks for sticking with me. Drop a comment. What hit you today and how will you use it? Your voice matters. If this helped, subscribe, share. It keeps us going. See you next time.